Welcome to MX5 Diary. I'm Steve and this is the new Mazda MX5 Mark IV ND. 2-litre sport, which I think is equivalent to the club version in the US. I've had this car and another car which Mazda UK kindly lent me for a couple of weeks since about September. So I've been driving this now for quite a while. I've done about 2,000–3,000 miles in this car. And in that time, I have learnt quite a lot and quite a few things I've not heard mentioned in other reviews. The bottom line is, and most reviews will say the same, this is a great car. It's fun to drive, it looks great, but it's not perfect. And I've discovered a number of things which you might be interested in and hopefully Mazda might consider for the future. In this episode, I'm going to talk about keyless entry, which is good, but at times it's really, really annoying. The roof, very quick and easy to use, but not perfect. Fuel economy, what am I really getting? And I'll cover some aspects of the interior and show you a hack that I've done. But first of all, keyless entry. So here's the key, and the car has a number of aerials around it, and all I have to do is just approach the car, press this button, and then to start the car, I just put my foot on the clutch and press the start button. And if the key is left in the boot, imagine I'm approaching the car with my keys in a bag, for example, close it, and the sound goes off. All good, warning me my keys are in the boot. Brilliant. So then I take my keys out of the boot, all good. Now the problems really start when you start trying to leave the car. So I'm at a petrol station. Use your imagination, I'm not really. And I get out of the car, unlock the car. So I get out of the car, the fuel filler cap is over there. I walk around the back casually and the car locks, which means the filler cap is locked. I can't open it. The only way I can open it now is by pressing this button. It's ridiculous. Maybe I'm walking too slowly here. Maybe. Flipping heck. Oh, it's locked again. Get out of the car. I'm at a fuel station. Get out of the car, walk around. I don't even know what that beep means. I don't get it. Why? I don't get it. I don't understand how. Maybe this works for left-hand drive cars because they just have to go around the back. In the UK, we're right-hand drive. Mazda's a Japanese company, and in Japan, they drive on the right-hand side. So I don't. The only way I found of getting around this is unlock it. Is if how did I do this? If I lean over, when I'm in the, I'm in the car. I have to lean. The problem is I look completely ridiculous. No, I'm all right. No, I'm okay. No, you don't need to. I'm just opening the filler cap. Yeah, filming. No, you don't need to call anyone. And then locking the car at times can feel like a complete lottery. I walk away. 2 beeps. I have no idea why. And I come back and it's locked. Good. Sometimes I walk away. Okay, that time worked. Good. Walk away. Oh, the problem is it doesn't always go wrong. It's behaving itself today. Hang on. I'm looking like an idiot again. I'm proving my point very poorly here because it's kind of working. I'm locking the car. Right, I'm having a chat with someone outside the car. Nice car, thank you very much. Do you like it? Yes, it's a lovely colour, isn't it? It's wonderful, brilliant. Really like the car. Keep talking for a few minutes longer. Then I walk away from the car and it locks. Well, seems to be working. Maybe it's just me, I don't know, but all I can tell, maybe it's when it's in my garage, maybe it's when there's interference with the key, I don't know, but it doesn't always do that second beep, and I don't understand the two beeps. I don't understand the difference between the first and second beep. I've read the manual, it doesn't make it clear in there, but anyway. So I've talked about the fuel filler cap, and I'm going to carry on the fuel theme and talk about fuel economy. Now the book says 30.4 miles per British gallon for urban and 51.4 miles per gallon for extra urban. I won't convert those units to others, I'll let you do the calculation. But I do push the car quite hard, reaching the red line whenever I can. And if I have a look here, press the info button. So my average speed is about 29 miles per hour, and my average MPG is 30.8, which is only just above urban. And when you consider I do quite a lot of drives in the country and on motorways, that's quite low, but then again I do push the car quite hard, so that's absolutely fine. Now one thing I do like is I've set the display up here. This is what Mazda call the MZD Connect. If I start the car, every time I stop the car it will display my MPG for that journey. So if I press the stop button, and there you go, it says 0 MPG because I've not gone anywhere, but that's quite fun. You can make that into a bit of a game, whether you want it as high or maybe as low as you want. That's pretty cool. Now whilst we're talking about the display, the functionality is pretty good, but the graphics are horrible. For such a smart modern car, it's like they've pulled the guy who designed Microsoft Windows 95 out of retirement and said, design a display for the future. It just doesn't work. It doesn't suit the car. And what I'm showing you here is how my display used to look. Fortunately, I've got a PhD in computing. I like to dabble and play and hack around with stuff. And if I just start the car, you'll see now, instead of some horrible patronising disclaimer that tells you not to crash the car, it now says Steve Haskey, have fun. And I've got rid of that horrible display and created something a bit flatter. It's not perfect, it's still a work in progress, but for me it was a lot better than looking at that other thing. And maybe, if I just shut this down, and maybe in some future videos I'll give you and show you some of the other hacks I've done. Right, commander knob. No, that's not an insult. I'm talking about this thing. This is the controller, a bit like BMW's iDrive controller. You turn up and down, left, right, and it controls the display. Very good. Now, there's plenty of plastic around the inside of the car. That's fine because you hardly ever touch it. But what are the things you do touch? The door handle, made of metal, very nice. The steering wheel, made of leather, very nice. The gear stick, which is lovely to use, is leather and metal, doubly nice. This thing is plastic, and it's such a shame because you're touching it all the time, and it feels so wrong. I don't know why they did that. Maybe it saves a few grams, but to get rid of some extra weight, get rid of this ridiculous CD player. It's not the year 2000, and unless you live in a care home, you would have got rid of all your CDs years ago. Get rid of that, save some weight, and make that metal, because then you got a far nicer experience. It just feels wrong. Real shame. And finally in this episode I'm going to talk about the roof. And unlike the RF model, which I think is coming out next year, which takes 12 seconds to put up the roof at a maximum speed of 6 miles per hour, this thing can go up and down in a matter of seconds. Really good. And even better than that, I've been able to do this at speeds of around 30 miles per hour, which is very handy if, like me, you like driving in pretty much any weather unless it's torrential rain, because at 30 miles per hour you don't get wet. So if you can put the roof up and down at about 30 miles per hour, it works really well. However, there are two problems that I see with it. First of all, you may have just seen, it doesn't always come up that easily. It's just not quite sprung enough. I can put it down very easily, but maybe I just want it to come up a little bit more. I have to reach quite a lot, and maybe that's something I can adjust. I don't know. The other thing is the windows. So let me get the car going and put the windows up. So put the roof up. Now, did you notice what happened there? As I put the roof up, as you would expect, the windows start to move. Otherwise, they're going to cause a problem with the roof. However, what's really annoying here is that the windows have gone down a bit, but they've not gone back up. So I'm going to lift them up now. Now, no one that I know of in a convertible would ever drive the car with the windows halfway up. They're either fully up or fully down, never in between. So why, when you take the roof up and down, does it put them in this halfway state? It drives you mad. And I put up the windows, I go to reduce the roof. Why are they halfway down? I've now got to move them. If I wanted them up, I want it to go back up. If I want them down, I'll move them down. Very irritating. And then there's this other button over here called the Windows lock switch. And when you press it, it means your passenger, imagine they're a child, can't open and close the window. So how does that work? I'm going to press that button. I'm going to put the window up. I'm going to press the button down. Put the roof up. The window is now halfway down. This makes no sense. It's one thing for the passenger not to be able to open and close the window. I get that. But when I press this button, I can't do it either. It makes no sense. I have to press that button, at which point now the passenger's button is activated. So the child can open and close the window at this point. I now close the window and then press the button again. Makes no sense. The button is now pressed. I open the window, it's halfway down, and I can't make it go up and down. As the driver, I should always have control of these windows. This button here that stops the window going up and down should be to stop the passenger from doing it, not for me. Anyway, apart from those few niggles, and there's few more that I will tell you about in future videos, the car is great. It's fantastic to drive. I have so much fun in it. What's really nice, unlike my RX-8 and my RX-7 and other Mazdas I've had, this feels alive and has fun at regular speeds. The RX-8, I had to go very fast on country lanes, and only then did the car feel alive and I had lots of fun. At regular driving, you have fun, it puts a smile on your face. So if that's the kind of car you want, the MX5 is a strong contender. I'm going to continue to tell you about some of the niggles because you may be interested to hear them, but it's a great car. And on that note, I'm going to go and take this car for a spin. See you later.